Yo, what's up? It's your boy Serrano. Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be comparing the Galaxy 14 5G compared to the Galaxy A32. And so I wanted to show you what comes inside of the box for each of these devices and kind of go over the unboxing experience. So the A32 was a few generations old. It was released in February 2021. And it comes with your literature, your SIM remover tool. It's inside of here. So you get the Type-C to Type-C cord, and you get the literature right here, the terms and conditions and stuff like that. And so on the A32, you're going to be getting, the brick. So this one has the brick and it has the SIM remover tool as well. And it also has the Type-C to Type-A cable. So this is the cable that I actually like using because most bricks do support that. And they're two completely different materials. So on the A32 on the right, you're going to have like a glossy, almost glass-like finish on the back. It almost mimics glass in every single way possible. It might have some glass qualities to it. I can't see the fingerprints on it. And then the A14 5G has this almost like grippy vinyl finish to it, which is actually really nice to look at, really nice to feel in the hand. And I definitely like the materials that they used. Now turning them to the right side, you're not going to get anything on the A32 except for the SIM remover slot. And you can put your SD card in there for expansion up to 1 terabyte. On the A14, you have the same deal. It has the slim SIM slot for nano, and you can put 1 terabyte in there for additional storage. Now the A14 has it's a thicker frame right here. You can see it's a little bit thicker when it comes to the overall size of it, but the volume rockers and the power button are located in the exact same spot. The A14 is definitely a little bit taller, and you can see right there the difference when it comes to the height on both of these. But they're also going to have headphone jacks, which I really do like. Type-C and as a microphone on the bottom, as well as the speaker down below as well. Now the heavier device is the A14. It's got 202 grams of weight, but it feels really light. It feels really light in the hand, in my opinion. And then the A32 right here is going to have 100. It's actually going to be 184 grams. So it's going to be a little bit lighter when you compare it to the A14, but they both actually overall feel very light in the hand. So let me power both of these on at the same time and see which one comes on faster. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm holding down the power button at the exact same time, and I'll wait for both of them to power up. They have a different shape to them. So basically that's the difference. You're going to notice that the one on the A14 is a little bit more rounded, and the A14 actually came on quicker. So let me go ahead and unlock it. And you can see that teardrop at the top, or that slope for the notch where the camera is. It's two different shapes, but they have a similar, look to them, except, the shape is going to be a little bit different. And so, the A14 did power on first. So that's kind of crazy. You would expect the A32 to power on first, even though it's the older phone, but it's they're both running on Android 13, I believe. So I'm going to get into that in just a second, talk about the software. But as far as the displays, they're both beautiful displays. They're both 1080 by 2400. A14 is going to be 2408, so it's got 8 more pixels. As far as the PPI on the displays, they both have 400 pixels per inch. The A32 has 411 and the A14 has 400 pixels per inch. So they both have really gorgeous panels. I'm going to turn the brightness up so you can see that just a little bit better. And you can see they're both at full brightness. Now, as far as the features, you're going to get, Wi-Fi sound, which is going to give you vibrate, mute, and sound. But I'm going to turn the sound off so they don't make noise. Bluetooth, auto rotate, airplane mode, flashlight, mobile, data, hotspot, power savings mode, location. This one has link to Windows, but I don't see that on the A14. And then you got quick share and NFC on these guys. Both of them have that Smart View, Nearby Share, Do Not Disturb, Dark Mode, QR Scanner, Dolby Atmos. Now, when it comes to the Dolby Atmos, you're going to see right here, if I long hold both of them, it's actually going to ask me for the headphone jack when it comes to using this one right here for the Dolby Atmos. So you do need to plug in a Bluetooth, you need to connect the Bluetooth device, or actually, let me put Do Not Disturb on this one because it's getting a lot of notifications. But they're both going to require either Bluetooth or the headphone jack to actually use the Dolby Atmos. And I'm going to show you the software that's on both of these things. So it says 5.1. Now, this is the difference. You get the core version right here for the A14. So it's got like just the main features, but the full experience is going to be on the A32. But do me a quick solid. If you're still here, just type down below in the comment section. I'm still here, so I know you're still kicking it with me. And I just want to remind you to hit the like button so we can boost the engagement on this video and get it out to more people. Okay. Now I'm going to close all the apps and do a quick speed test. Then we'll jump into some samples when it comes to the microphones and the performance and the cameras as well. And we're going to be talking about the displays in just a little bit more detail, but the better panel is going to be on the Samsung Galaxy A32, which I'm going to get into right now. But let's open up App Store, 1, 2, 3. And that's going to go to the A32. Let's go into the Bible app at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And that one is going to go to the A14. Now let's jump into another app. Let's try AliExpress on both of these. 1, 2, 3. And I could definitely see that the viewing angles are a lot better on the A32. And it looked like the A14 got that one right there as well. So let's jump into Amazon. 1, 2. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. 1, 2, 3. And that's going to go to the A14. So let's do a microphone sample. Let's do the A32 first. Here's the A14. But the microphones are pretty similar and they both have game launchers. So I want to test out the performance. And I did press load at the same time. So it looks like they're both even at this point when it comes to loading up PUBG. But they're both going to have similar processing chips. The A14 has the Dimensity 700, which is a 7nm processing chip. And the A32 has the Helio G80, which is a 12nm processing chip. So you can see the A14 did load up a little bit quicker. But as far as the screen resolutions, they're both, like I said before, 1080 times 2400, 20:9 aspect ratio, Gorilla Glass 5 on the A32, and Gorilla Glass, I think, like, it doesn't even say on the A14, but I think it's Gorilla Glass 5 as well. And, you know, the difference is they're both going to give you 90 hertz displays, but you're going to get a PLS LCD display on the A14 and a Super AMOLED panel on the A32. So it's going to be a lot brighter, more punchy. You're going to get the always on display on the A32 as well. Now, when it comes to the performance on these things, you're going to get a good experience with both. Like I said, the Dimensity 700 on the A14 right here. the Dimensity 700 is actually a really nice processing chip for gaming. The graphics are nice and smooth. You're gonna get some good storage as well. You're gonna get, as far as the storage, when it comes to these, you're gonna get a 64 or a 128 matched with 4 gigabytes of RAM or 8 gigabytes of RAM, but this is the 4 gigabyte model. And this one has Bluetooth 5.2, whereas the A32 is gonna have Bluetooth 5.0. And so they're both gonna have 5,000 milliamp hour batteries. Very nice processing chips on this one. This has a really nice speed to it. It feels real smooth when I'm actually using the you know, this thing. So I definitely think that the performance on here is going to be really solid. Now, when it comes to the A32, it's going to have a really good performance as well with the Helio G80. It's going to be a little bit more affordable at $169 versus the A14 being a price of the A14 is going to be $199, so just like basically like a $40 difference. So they're both actually worth picking up. You can see that this is going to have that Super AMOLED display, which is going to be a lot better to look at, but they both have similar battery, 15 watts charging. And so, yeah, I definitely think that the performance is going to be good on both of these. It's holding up well. It's also got, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 64 gigabytes, or you can get the 128 with the, increase of storage with 8 gigabytes of RAM or 128 or 64, depending on which model you choose. But yeah, as far as performance, they're both going to be pretty solid for gaming. So I could recommend both when it comes to the processing chips. They both are pretty good budget processing chips. And so it's not going to be a laggy experience when you're gaming. They both have mono speakers, so you won't get like the highest speaker quality in the entire world. But yeah, as far as the gaming performance, they're both pretty much even because they both have really good displays. But this one's going to have a little bit of a better display. But let's do a quick fingerprint test. 1, 2, 3. And you can see that the fingerprint is on the A32 on the screen. And then this one has the side mounted fingerprint. And so they both have facial recognition as well. So let's test out the fingerprints, even though the physical one is always going to be a little bit quicker than the virtual one. So let's do that one more time. 1, 2, 3. You can see the speed difference right there. Now, as far as the cameras, we do have really good cameras on both. We have a 20 megapixel camera on the front of the A32 and a 13 megapixel on the front of the A14. And as far as the zoom, they're both going to have some pretty good zoom. They both go up to 10 times zoom on here. As far as recording, you're going to get some really good detail. This one has a macro camera on it, the A14. And we also get a macro camera on the A32. So as far as the camera modes, they're going to be very similar. Slow motion is on the A32, as well as the A14. And you can see they both have AR zone. So they have all the same features when it comes to the camera. The only difference is that when it comes to the cameras, you're going to notice that this one, the A32, is going to have a 64 megapixel with 8 megapixel ultra wide, 5 megapixel macro, and 5 megapixel depth camera. And they both have night mode. And then the A14 is going to have a 50 megapixel, 2 megapixel macro, 2 megapixel depth camera. So it's just not going to have the wide camera. So those are the main differences when it comes to the cameras. And I'll make sure I do a separate video about the cameras so you can see the quality, but you can see that we get the 0.5 for the wide angle on the A32, and we don't have that on the A14. Now, I did take a selfie with both, so I just want to show you the quality that I got on both of these. This is the A32 right here, and it has some pretty good detail. there's a little bit more detail when it comes to the A14 for some reason. So you can see right there, it's a little bit more washed out on the A14. And then the A32 and the A14 both look good when it comes to taking photos. That A32 has really good detail. You can see right here, it just looks like a really nice image. And the same thing with the A14. So I think they both perform very similarly, but I'm going to show you guys like a comparison when it comes to the cameras in a separate video. But let me know which one you guys would pick up. I definitely think both of these are really solid budget phones for the price. $169 here, $199 here. This is the older one, but it's going to have a better display. This one has the PLS, LCD, where this has the Super AMOLED. They both have really good battery at 5,000 milliamp hours batteries. And this one has the wide angle camera, but this one doesn't. They both record in 1080, 30 frames per second. You get the in-display fingerprint sensor on the A32, which is kind of cool, but you get a bigger panel on the A14, and it's a newer chip on the A14, which is a little bit more powerful. But let me know what you guys think about both of these phones. Which one would you pick up? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm kind of curious to know, but I definitely think both of these are really solid. But I'm going to get back with you. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe and get notified for more videos just like this. And just type down below, I'm still here if you made it to the end of the video, and I'll check you guys later. Peace.